Hi everybody, this is Yuya from VIVE Japan. Today I'm going to show you how to make an avatar like myself and use it inside VRChat. And what we're going to be using are all free tools, so you're going to be able to start from scratch and make your own custom avatar, implement it into VRChat, and use it. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's talk about what VRChat is. VRChat is a social VR platform, which you can also play from a desktop computer that basically supports a game like this. You may need a minimum PC that can run something comfortably, because some of the worlds and some of the avatars that people uses a lot of polygons, and it does put some weight on your computer. I'm sure you are here for this tutorial because you are currently using VRChat, but just to show you, basically VRChat is available on 3 different platforms. One is on Steam, you have Oculus, and also Viveport. The game is free, so go ahead. If you have an account on any of these, you can go and download. As you can see here, VR is not required, so you can play on your PC. So first things first, there's a prerequisite to get started in making your avatar, which is you need to upgrade your character level. You will need to first level up your trust level from visitor to new user in order to use the custom avatar and custom worlds where you can upload yourself. If you don't level up your trust level first, none of this is going to work for you. So you can go ahead and start playing VRChat, at least be on it for 24 hours. So play on it a lot, make some friends, hang out in different public worlds, and at some point VRChat will send you an email saying you leveled up. So once that happens, you'll be able to upload your own custom avatar and use it. So that's that. Let's go ahead and talk about what tools we're going to be using today. As you can see on my screen already is the VRChat SDK. One of the engines that you will have to use to develop your character is Unity. And inside Unity, you will need the software development kit for VRChat to create your avatars, getting it working, and uploading it to your account. So what's Unity? Unity is a game engine for developers and for personal use, education, and maybe small projects. It's free to download and you can use it. So a lot of VR developers are using Unity because it has a lot of plugins and it has full support for all kinds of VR devices. For VRChat, what we're going to use it is to import our 3D assets, and then we have the VRChat SDK to upload. So if you haven't already, make sure you get the Unity software and just go to Get Started, click Get Started, download the Unity Hub, and make sure you get the right versions installed. What is the right version? If you go to vrchat.com, developer documentations, choosing your SDK. We're going to be using the VRChat SDK 2, which supports avatars. They do have a newer VRChat SDK 3, but this does not allow you to create avatars yet. So to support VRChat SDK 2, let's go back one more. Let's look at the current Unity version that they support, and the current Unity version in use is Unity 2018 4.20 F1. So once you're inside Unity Hub, make sure you're installing that same version. So what is trust level on VRChat? Basically, VRChat trust level. Basically, it is kind of a protection system for the social platform where different users use different kinds of avatars, characters, and different levels of they call it shaders, where you can put effects and crazy stuff on your characters. You don't always want to see that because some people abuse it and make very messy avatars or inappropriate avatars. you can block those people. You want to be friends with only your friends and only see and hear from your friends. You can choose inside the social safety settings for each level of users, and you can turn on and off if you can hear them, if you can see their avatar and all their other effects on that character. So visitors usually only use the default avatars, which isn't too bad, but a lot of new users will be experimenting with a lot of crazy stuff. And here's the actual level. So when you create a new account, you're a visitor. And once you play enough, you will get an email from VRChat saying you are a new user. And from there, it kind of gradually goes up. And once you're in the higher area, people know that you're trusted because you don't cause troubles. You have many friends in the community, and they're well known. That kind of trust level helps each other kind of protect their own systems and improve on the community. Now let's talk about the tools we're going to use that will get you the cool avatar that, for example, that I'm using. Mine looks more like an anime style because I use a tool called VRoid. And VRoid has a basic default character that kind of justifies what everybody else looks like. But it's very good because it has all the IKs. It has the rigging. You can smile, you can laugh. You'll be able to do everything from here. Otherwise, if you create your own character and try to rig it and modify it, you're going to have to create a whole skeleton system for your body. You're going to have to make your character smile, laugh, get mad, whatnot, and apply all these configurations in order to get it working. That would require something at a developer skill level. I'm not that, so VRoid is a good start for me because it's easy. You have VRoid Mobile that you can even create on your iPhone or Android basically, and then you have a VRoid Studio that's the full tool that you can use on your computer. So this is in Japanese. You can access the website in English, and you'll be able to create these characters. So once you create your characters, there are many ways to use it. There's the whole VRoid hub where you can upload it and connect it to different platforms or applications, you can see here, that supports it. So all of these are what people uploaded. You can buy them, you can use them, and it depends on what licensing system that they choose. So if you come down here to this area called Pick Up, you have some of these characters that you can take a look at. There's an explanation, thumbnails, and a 3D preview that is loading. And this one says you cannot use. So if you can't use it, this is just for show, basically. Somebody uploaded to show off to other people. Anyways, let's go back. What we're going to do is make our own. Either you are putting it on VRoid Hub for yourself or other people, or you can export it as a VRM avatar file. And then that way you can use it in Unity, Blender, all kinds of places. So what is a VRM? VRM, you can search for vrm.dev. The website's also in Japanese. It's a humanoid avatar format for VR. And why do we need something like this? What they do is they implement a digital rights management system into 3D avatars. There are so many VTubers in Japan, and people want to protect their own characters. You want to protect your own characters. You don't want your 3D avatar being distributed, being used by anybody, and not being able to do anything about it. Using a VRM file, it tells people that you can use this character, but not for business purposes, or they can use it however they want. You can choose that level, put your contact information in it, and if you find somebody not complying with your license information, then you can cause some trouble. The website's also in English. You can take a look at what they're trying to do with this avatar format. It's getting supported in a lot of platforms in Japan. It's using the GLTF 2.0 base, so it will open in a lot of programs, but it does have some proprietary information. So even if you try to open it in Unity or Blender, you will need some third-party tools to convert it. To do that, that's what they have here. So you can go to the Uni VRM repository. It's the VRM support tool that you can put inside Unity. So if you go down, go to downloads, release page, and here it is. The latest is Uni VRM 0.55.0. You can download the Unity package or the one that has some samples in it so you can take a look at what this tool is doing. Just to touch on some of the tools that use VRM is the company that actually developed the VRM format is VirtualCast. VirtualCast is a very cool VR platform studio where you can actually record yourself, broadcast, and use a bunch of tools inside. This wiki they have is also in English. You can come here. It tells you how to set up cameras and broadcast. What it looks like basically, if you go to the some of the stuff that they tweet on the official website, here's a good example. You have a whole menu system where you can pull out all your 3D assets. You can use it inside the world, and your characters look very cool. All you need to do is upload. All you need to do is upload your avatar, and it supports all of these movements. Very cool. So that's available on Steam and also free if you want to check that out. Another tool that's very cool is virtual motion capture. Search for virtual motion capture like this, and you'll have to find the link that says booth because this is where the developer released it. So what is virtual motion capture? You may have seen a lot of avatars doing cool stuff, including myself, using the avatar and basically putting it inside a VR world. That's happening on the left side, and then on the right side is just an avatar that's being tracked either by a camera or what I do is the VR device itself. It is a little bit tricky to download because it is in Japanese. You can switch it to English up here and click on free download and you should get the zip file. If you can't get it, I might have accessed this page specifically by clicking through some options, but it's free. That's what you can do. So that's another tool. To use for VRChat, we're going to find another plugin that's being sold for free on Booth. It's called VRM Converter for VRChat. So VRM is great. It's supported by all kinds of tools, but it's not fully supported by VRChat yet. You can't upload a VRM file directly to VRChat. So what you have to do is you have to take the VRM chat, import it into Unity, and then convert it into a more friendly avatar that can be used in VRChat. I'll show you how you can do it without this converting tool, but a lot of times it is a lot of pain. Using this will basically save you 10-15 minutes of your time fixing up your avatar. So also this one, you can go ahead and search for VRM Converter for VRChat to see the website in English if you need to, and click on free download. Also, I will be using GIMP. If you don't know what GIMP is, it is a free image manipulation program, much like Photoshop, but it's free. Like I said, we're doing everything free today. I myself use Photoshop for a lot of image editing, but today, let's use GIMP. So you can go to the GIMP download website and download 2.10.18, which is their latest one. And if you already know how to use Photoshop, or if you want to learn, this is actually a great place to get started. What we're going to use this is when we start creating the avatar, we don't want everybody to look the same. Actually, I gave my own avatar a custom uniform, like here where I'm wearing. I'll show you how I edited that. And finally, this isn't part of the goal today, but I am using a brand new software released for the iPhone 10 with facial motion capture called VIVE. You can sync this with the PC software, and basically, as you see on this bottom left of the screen, I'm using my VR model and moving it using facial motion capture. So I'm not wearing a VR device right now, I'm just capturing my facial motion and it's applying it to this avatar on my computer, and then I composited it onto the OBS streaming screen. So since I mentioned OBS also, let's talk about that real quick. OBS is the open broadcast software, which I use a lot of people a lot. It's a free open source software to stream. You can compose in it, you can make many scenes, you can add a lot of objects such as your browser, your desktop, images, anything you can think of, and then control it. And once you set up your stream, for example, YouTube or Facebook Live, so that's what I use right now to compose what you see on the screen. And go down to the page, click English, and then you can find everything you want in English. Okay, so those two, just some cool side notes. Let's get started. Get your VRoid Studio and let's open that up. There's a lot going on already because I use VRoid. I make a lot of the avatars for our team. The top ones are sample models. When you download the latest one, you get what do you get? Like 10 avatars that you can check out and start off from. And then once you start making new ones, they'll show up on the bottom. So it's cool to get started on the top ones because they have a lot of features, they're rigged correctly, and they look awesome. But today, let's get started with something brand new. And also, if you want to change the language, just come up here and change to English and that'll be easier for you guys. Okay, so let's come here. There is the model type. You have the female form and the male form. Let's check out the female form. It's good to show through the female form because it does have a few more features such as a different set of clothes. And because of that, you will be able to customize even crazier uniforms. For example, the male would have only pants, and you only have that pants shape to work off of. Whereas if you can get this skirt or a dress, I will show you later, you will be able to use that dress form and then modify it to have transparencies in different areas and customize your whole new costume for your own avatar. We won't go that far, but I'll show you at least how to start modifying the textures to do something like that. Okay, once you're here, use your mouse. That's the best way to move around. Navigate. The scroll on your mouse, if you have one, will zoom in and out. Right click, you can spin. Shift, left click to move the character around on the screen without rotation. So every single feature has basically the negative side where you can add a positive number towards the negative, outer eye slant, and then there's an upward, downward. So if you do upward one and then downward one, it just goes back to the base position. So you're able to work with kind of these 0 to 1 parameters. So just take a look at each of the features and see what you like. Let's try playing around with more of these features. I think that's cool for now. Now you can actually edit the textures. So here you can see the tongue. These avatars actually have a whole rig inside their face too. So applications like VRChat, when you're speaking, the character's mouth will open and close and you will be able to see their teeth and tongue. That's the mouth. I don't think you need to modify anything, but your basic editing tools are here. So if you want to change the color of your tongue, go ahead and take a brush and color that in. But we won't do that here. Okay, here are all kinds of other features. Let's take a look at the eyeline. So you can see the eyeline is already kind of dark here. So you can click one of these. There's the guide. The guide is just there and either it's one of these being shown on the character. So if you want to give her a more thicker kind of eyeline, you can always color like that. Of course, that's not a good example, but if you can do well with the brush tools, like this, you'll be able to basically add more cosmetics on the face and basically anywhere you want. So this is much more easier to modify. If you want something more, a different color, basically just choose a color and it'll fix things up for you. So this is cool. You can go ahead and I'll say, let's give her a hot pink kind of a highlight there, and then the dark parts make it also. So that's cool. Eyelashes also. Right now they are brown. Can do something interesting here. Here's the dark part. This, and then here is the actual the layer here. Let's zoom in, and if you're good at these brushes, maybe we can so that's a whole texture around it. So as you can see, it'll wrap around that layer in a three-dimensional way. Eyebrows here. Yep. So usually you want to work like a mirror here, so you can turn that mirror on. That way, if you do something on one side, it'll do it on both sides. So here is kind of, you can give her a thicker eyebrow like this. I am not good at drawing with a mouse, so I'm gonna put that back, but for example, I kind of like to give her a thicker eyebrow in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and export that. I'm on my Explorer to save in a folder. I'm calling it layer eyebrow. Okay, so here I have some of the files we're using today saved, and here's the layer eyebrow file I just exported. So I'm going to take that into GIMP. Let's open GIMP here. And yes, so the default image is what we're always working with. So make sure that's, so the default image is what you want to be modifying. So what I want to do is kind of make these eyebrows double thick. So I'm highlighting the parts I want to modify. I'm going to Tools and Transformation and Scale. There you go. This down here. As you can see, we're already almost double size. Okay, try to keep that in the middle, and then done. So close that panel and go back and save as a PNG file. Now you can see in my folder, there's the updated thicker eyebrow here. What we're going to do is go back to VRoid. It has the base image down here. Let me close the top ones to see if we can show on screen here. Default image, import go to that layer eyebrow, and there we go. We have thicker eyebrows already. I'm just gonna lighten that up. Like this. And look, you've already customized enough that nobody else is going to have the same feature. Now let's go to the next hard part, the hair. So there are presets if you import them, but what we're going to do is make our own. So the base hair is already here. You can change the color if you want. Let's do that. And then you can work on top. Let's go to freehand group. I think being able to draw your own is very cool. So you go to your brush, you choose a material, and here you don't want to change the one existing, so create a new one. And then this one's gonna be, we can change the color later. I just want to make it different enough to be able to see. Rotate your head around, and all you have to do is stay on that brush and start drawing all the way around like this. So there's one strand of hair. And if you go back to the materials, if you click the first one, it's going to be the same as the material on the head. Here's the new one, and you can change the textures right here. So the highlight position, you can modify the positioning of the hair strand even after you draw it. Here's some twisting if you like twisty hair, like that. And then you can even change how those cross sections look like. Okay. Also, you can see how there's a variance in the thickness. You can change all of that here. So usually the starting point is kind of smaller like that, and then it's easier to have a thickness to let it fill up the head, but the tips are usually kind of thin like this. You can always do something different by changing that curve. And then there are some presets. You can do straight hair, squiddy hair. Yeah, basically the same meaning, but the hair looks like squid arms basically. Fluffy is okay. It's a good starting point. Okay, and then here are all the control points. Once you draw, and if you don't like it, you can always keep changing like this. Right, so let's just keep filling in the hair. Control Z if you don't like something, always you can reset. So I'm not super great at making these hairs, but if you practice enough, you'll get it a lot better. So you can see there's a mesh around the face that's limiting a lot of the direction you can take the hair in. What you can do is actually take the edges of the hair and change all of that. So if you want really, really long hair, you can actually do that. Okay, so I'm taking some of these and making sure it goes back, but as you can see, it's moving all of that around. If you want to change the length of the hair, change the mesh first, so then you can actually add the hairs in the right position later. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this short hair, but another cool feature I want to show is adding bones to the hair, which sounds strange, but you can have the hairs kind of flow around in virtual cast, all kinds of applications, if you have that happening. Until recently, you had to do that manually, and it's not easy. And now that's very easy. And to do that, I extended the hair a little bit more so you can get a feel of how it is. Come to the bone section, and I don't want to choose all of them. Just create a bone group and it will automatically choose your hairs. So all the parts that seem meaningful is all highlighted and bones added. So each of these colors will move freely on their own. And I think some of these top pieces I don't really think are needed, so we can go ahead and remove the bone. So these two I don't think needs to move around. I can do that. This one also. You can see that later in the export scene. But here we are. That's kind of a basics of the hair. Another cool way to work with these hair groups is, let's add a new hair group, and I'm gonna make something cool like this. Using the hair feature, you can already create your own hair accessories. How? I'm in that separate group, and I'm gonna give her a little hair piece here, making sure that's the color, so we want to be able to see it. So I'm gonna change the hair to more of a straight chunk. The highlighting can be more customized. Let's make everything just white to make it easier to see. Let's get that highlight position in a more interesting location. I'm gonna make it thinner and more thicker. Okay. And X and Y is the position on the mesh. If you want the mesh to actually stick out even more, that's what you do. You click on the mesh and pull it out. So there you go. I just added a thing on her hair. And that's it. Let's make it more kind of a recognizable thing like this. Let's make her look a little less like gray hair, something like this. And as you can see, the whole top of the hair is the same color. So for example, I want some of these different. You can always do that. Choose those pieces and color them differently. Okay, so that's really cool. Starting to look a lot more original. Now let's go to the body. For the body, you want to zoom out. Hand sizes, shoulder sizes, torso, arm. Here's the head size. So if you wanted to go chibi, tall and chibi, you can keep the head the whole body same and make the head big. So let's see if we can actually make a smaller person. So I'm gonna go about 0.3 on everything small. Shortness. Okay, so the shortness can control everything. So I gave her short arms and short legs, and then I'm making her small again. So you have kind of a big head, chibi style, not so chibi. We can exaggerate that even more if you want, like that. Now you have the body textures. So here is where you can modify the skin tone. So you already have the textures here. She's even wearing underwear. If you want, you can always make these transparent, cut it out to save on texture data, and also sometimes if you don't need to show things, then that's the way to hide it. Here's the base color. You can add another color on top of the texture to make the colors different. So you have the whole color palette here. I'll just keep her kind of in the default position. You can do whatever you want. That you can see that only changed the body. So to do the face, of course, you would come to the face skin down here, change the base color, and then here. Now we are at the clothing. Here is the least customized part. So to do anything new to it, we'll make it most customized. So here are the basic things. You have the no clothes, you have the uniform, you have the one piece, uniform with pants, long coat, and that's the first one that I already modified a little bit. So this is a cool one because what you can do is you can use this model, the clothes, and fully customize it. You can color it, you can even cut out and finally make a whole new dress of your own new liking. That's only possible if you have the design skills and GIMP or Photoshop skills to modify everything. For me, I'm not going to be able to do that much. So what we're going to do is stay with this basic form. I don't need the ribbon, so you can go down to the categories and remove some things. I want her to have more of, I don't want that vest basically. So what we're going to do is now go into the textures. Here's that texture we're seeing, and you can see the vest is separate completely on there. So what we can do is redesign that vest into something else. And again, go here, we can export and modify everything. So if you open that inside GIMP, let's open GIMP. Here's what that looks like, the texture file. To modify this, especially, I decided to add some text on it. Text is the hardest part because it's going to morph onto the body shape. So you can't just put text on here and expect it to look good. You will have to do a lot of minor adjustments to make it look good on a morphed body form. To show you an example, I spent about 3 hours modifying this file into this one. So I colored the sleeves to the same color as the vest. And then the vest is more navy, and I put a logo on it. And as you can see, the logo is completely morphed. That looks strange on Photoshop, but when you actually import it into VRoid, so let's come here and import that new shirt I made. See, it actually looks better, and it depends on how you formed your character's body shape, but it looked quite morphed on Photoshop or GIMP, but now it looks good here. So that's an example of how you can fully customize a shirt like that. So that's cool. She's wearing a VIVE logo polo shirt, and you can kind of see the invisible vest still there, but that's cool. And then she's wearing a Japanese style skirt school uniform. Let's come back here. You can change other things too. There's a leg. Let's see where, okay, the clothes and shoes. So shoes, there are different kinds. And then socks. Okay. Here are the sneakers. So that would change the whole color. So if you want custom kicks, basically, go to default and start drawing into that, like that. How does that look? It looks like squiggles. Yes, so export this and do the same thing for the shoes. And let's see if this has the skirt. Here you can modify the skirt also. So that three-dimensional looking texture is all drawing. And I'm wondering where the socks are. I don't know where the socks are. It might be in the body maybe. Yes, so The socks are actually attached to the body, so if you want the body to look like it's wearing something else, this is where you can modify. Now we can start looking at the whole overall kind of the shading. So you can give her like this cool manga style highlight around the hair. You can change things, but in the end, a lot of it will be kind of modified depending on the tool that you will be using. So this is good for taking pictures right now. So once that's done, now you can actually see her in motion. So let's put her here. This is great for taking screenshots and posing, giving her even, you can give her a green back if you want, so you can compose easily later. But here, let's make it easier on the eyes. So face expression, all of these are rigged in, and then VRChat is able to use some of these. So that's the cool part. See, already looks, that's cool. Anger, surprised anger. Okay. Eyebrows, eyes. Yeah, very mad. So already you can see this is a very cool feature where you can play around with and use screenshots. The eyes are looking at the camera. You can always change that too. So don't need to look at the camera. Look away from the camera. Need to look at the camera, just turn that on. Right now it is auto blinking. You can turn that blinking off if you want. And here's the cool part. This is where I kind of do the screenshots of cool poses. Here you can use both female and male poses, or customize the pose yourself. Like this is a cool feature too. I am not the most patient person to do all of this, so I just go ahead and choose like a default kind of animation, and if I like a scene, you can stop it there. So here, like that. And now I'm realizing we didn't do anything with the eye color of the eye, which is something worth doing, definitely. So let's go to the iris. Here's the whole iris, and you can see there's color here. I already have it on mirror mode. I want that yellowness kind of shining here also. Okay. Some blue. What's cool with the eye is you can do basically anything and it looks cool in the end. Okay. Like that. So it looks kind of creepy on the texture, but when you look here, it's kind of cool. You have that yellow streak shining in her eyes. Okay, so when you come back here, you can see all of that happening in the animation. Okay, so I like, for example, well, maybe you can do something cool too. Tired, damaged, maybe like a fighting thing. Okay, maybe standby is okay. So she's doing this cool thing, stop it, maybe stop it earlier, and you can capture this and save it on your computer. So if you have the green back, now you're able to compose the image in other places. You can always change the lighting here. That, even add wind. Okay, you can also give it some anti-aliasing. blooming. Here's a comic effect, so you don't even have to draw comics anymore. You can pose your character and you get a manga clip, basically. No color, that's cool. There you go. So in this case, you can zoom in and that looks cool. Looks like a manga clip. There's blurring, so you can have some three-dimensional blurring effects here. Okay, so I just took all those effects off. Going back to pose and animation, I want to show you this hair that we did. If we didn't do the bone rigging, the hair would not be moving right now. It would be a chunk of hair just stuck on the head. But because of the bones we put inside there, and it was completely automated, super easy, you can see that hair moving. Alright, so that's your character. Now what you can do is upload this to VRoid Hub to show off, or connect to other platforms easily. But what we're going to do is use the export to VRM feature. This is a lot of mesh. We did put a lot of hair in it. What we want to do is simplify it a little bit so it's a little more light on VRChat. So you can go ahead and actually take more polygons out of the hair. And if it doesn't look bad, then it's better to make that light. So you can see too much is not good. The face. If you take too much, now you can see that the face is looking blocky. Here's round, blocky. So I think here is not bad. And the body also. Take too much off, you look like Minecraft. So something's here. Also the clothes. So taking too much off is now it can't even conform around the breast area. So making sure that it has enough to work around when it's changing shape. Okay, and also materials. We use so many, so it's better that we make the texture smaller. It doesn't have to be the highest resolution. So see, we just simplified and we can't even tell. If we do lightest, now you can tell the face is more kind of not so much happening. Let's go back to none. You can see the biggest difference is the hair. So if you lighten it too much, simplify too much, you just don't get that nice depth in it. So maybe someplace in between. I think that's good. And already, so you can see 18,000 triangles and 8 materials. 2 materials. So for VRChat, actually 2 materials is the best. So none is 17. Lighter was not bad visually, but it still has 8. So go to lightest. If you can do lightest, that's the best. And you saw in the hair already by cutting into here, let's say 40, 20, 20, 10. Let's go back. So you can see that we used to have 22,000 triangles in this character. And by changing the setting, we cut almost 20 to 10% of those triangles. And it's gonna help a lot on your computer, a lot on VRChat, and also if there are a bunch of people that doesn't do this, then it gets crazy. Your computer won't be able to show all those characters. So if everybody does this, it makes everybody else happy. Hair cross sections. So taking out hair cross sections cut a lot of triangles. So honestly, I can't see a difference, so it's better to have less triangles. Here we go. So we're done. That's the character in VRoid. Don't forget to save if you haven't. I'm going to save that also. Say test. Okay, so now we're going to export. This is where you will add all that protection information. So I'll say that's my name, also the name of the character, so we'll say test. Author is me. You can add contact information if you want. Let's say she's version 1, and you can actually say who can use. So anybody who can use this character? Nope, only me. And what can they do? These. And I will say, of course, no. Only I can use it anyways, so no need to give permission. And then if there's a website that you want people to see about this character, then you can put that in. Can we share it? Nope, it's for me. I'm not allowing other people to redistribute. Or you can actually choose any of these Creative Commons. So say anyone, you can do whatever you want, and it's also free for sales, or you can't sell it and you can use it, whatnot. And that's it. So let's click OK. And right now it shows me saving into the tutorial folder. Let's see. So here she is. She is a VRM file. Now we need to take her and put her in Unity. So let's go ahead and start setting up Unity. Okay, here is Unity Hub. Create new project and make sure you're using the right 2018.4.20 F1. Okay, so it takes a few minutes to set up your Unity and open up. So once you get here, this is the default 3D scene that we created in Unity. So now we are going to need a few tools. Here's the VRChat SDK 2, the VRM converter for VRChat, and also the VRM converter for VRChat. This already has UniVRM included, the one from the vrm.dev website. I have this here. It's already in here, so technically you only need 2 of these packages. Okay, so now that you have both SDK and the VRM converter for VRChat installed, and that also included the UniVRM plugin, we can go ahead and start working on our VRoid VRM import and uploading to VRChat. So first of all, you need to get that VRM character that we made into Unity. And VRM is not natively supported by Unity, unlike FBX or OBJ or prefabs. You're going to have to import the VRM using this tool. And let's go and select the character we made. And here it's going to ask you where to save, so it's better you organize your folder for maybe your avatar here. And it's now generating a prefab that we can use. Here we go. All the avatar, the details are here. There's the materials, the meshes, and even the textures. Let's get the test girl in the scene. Position her in the middle, and I usually double click just to easily get to her view. Here we are. We already have a nice looking avatar. We don't need to do anything more. It's already there. If you try to save this to VRChat right now, there will be several issues. So go to the VRChat SDK. I'll go ahead and show you those. First of all, you're going to have to log into your account. You won't be able to use this SDK until you are a new user trust level. so please take note of that. Okay, I'm logged in. We go to the builder, VRChat scene descriptor or VRChat avatar descriptor is required. So we have to add all these things to the character. So if you come here, look for VRChat avatar descriptor, default animation female, something lip sync. Here you could choose this, auto detect. Okay, now we're going back here and it's saying all these things, VR meta, humanoid description. These are something that VRChat does not support and we don't need. It needs to be removed. Okay, so if you want to autofix, autofix will help with most of the fixing. Okay, and then finally we're down here. So we already fixed a few things, which wasn't bad. At least the new versions, our auto-fixing can do that. Previous versions, clicking autofix would not really fix anything, so that was not really fun. This version actually not so bad. But previously, there was using the tool would help too. So when you go to VRM, the VRChat converter is down here, duplicate and convert for VRChat. All the default settings is okay. It keeps the bones and configurations. We'll save it here. So once you duplicate, now you can see there's the original one and the VRChat one here is in the same spot. So I'm gonna show you what the differences are already. So the VRChat one automatically cleared everything up for us. As you can see here, it even added the avatar descriptor and this pipeline manager. It's to organize your avatar information in your account. So let's turn that one off. Let's go back here. I can't easily upload this one. I have to configure everything. So as I showed you earlier, avatar descriptor, all you need to do is add that for uploading avatars. Here, you can look at this, auto fix, and fix. So overall, it's not too bad. So you just have to click a few things. But the VRChat one, if you click, all you had to do was convert for VRChat and everything is already done for you. And we're gonna go ahead and see if there are any differences. So here we go. Let's export our first one first. We did manually. You want to hide the other ones because there's a camera here that's going to take a picture for the thumbnail. So hide the other one. We're ready to upload this one. Go to VRChat SDK, Builder, Build, and Publish for Windows. Are we ready? Here we go. Okay, so here is the upload screen. Let's make that bigger. this is where the thumbnail happens. So if you have all your characters standing around, you won't be able to get a good clean picture. So test girl, this is pre-convert. Let's just do private so only I can see. If you do public, it means people can start cloning you. So keep it private if you're the only one that wants to use this. Upload. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's go ahead and do the second one that we use for VRChat conversion. That looks all good. A few minutes to upload this one also. Okay, so this one, let's call it this one so we know that we used the converter inside Unity. Okay, so that's two avatars that we already uploaded. They're controlled by the pipeline. So once you have those uploaded, now you can see they're all available here. There's the test girl pre-conversion and then the VRChat one. And it even fixed up the thumbnail. They positioned the camera in a good position. So far so good. So let's see what else differences they have by actually opening VRChat. Okay, so now we're inside VRChat. I'm going to stand in front of the mirror over here. So that's my previous character. I'm seated right now, so there we go. And you can see if I move my joystick around, I can get some faces. Let's see how the other ones fare. If you go to your My Creations, now we can see the ones we uploaded. We have Test Girl pre-convert and then the Test Girl using the plugin to convert for VRChat. Let's open pre-convert here. You can see a preview of her. Looks really cool already. You have to click change. Here we are. She's really small. Her hand position is not ideal. Those things you will have to change, and it did have a warning saying that your character is small, and it's probably not what you think. So these little details you will have to adjust because it thinks your hand is in a very high position right now. Anyways, as you can see, the one we used without the plugin doesn't have any facial expressions. So I'm moving my joystick, but it's not doing anything, which is okay, but two issues. You can't use those faces, and also the mouth is not moving. By using the plugin, which helps with a few steps and with all the rigging inside, the hand's better already. You can see the hand is in the right position. So that's one very big difference that you want to do. Also, you can tell that my eyes are moving randomly, and also my mouth. When I'm speaking, you can see that my mouth is moving around. Ah. Hello everybody. So that's very cool. Also, here's my joystick moving around. You can see that I can do expressions. So using that tool for this VRM is very important. You can get a smile, laughing, sad, and mad. So you should use the plugin, okay? I hope everybody enjoyed this tutorial and gives you a better understanding of how to make your own avatar, customize it, and make it look even cool. I'm gonna give you one more cool tip since we're inside Unity and do something really cool. So I'm sure you all have some 3D assets that you want to use, and the fact that we're using VRoid, you're not able to use your own custom assets. But guess what? We're inside Unity. We can do that. So what I have here, some special assets that only I have, but it will give you a good understanding of how to do it yourself. So you can either get some Unity packages or download some 3D assets, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach them to our character and add on to what we have. Usually you would have to do that in Blender, but if you already have some good 3D objects ready, all you have to do is put it in Unity and attach it to the right bones. So I'm actually clicking and dragging and just tossing my Unity package file into Unity and importing. So here it is. What this is a VIVE Cosmos Elite. Very cool. So what we're going to do is we're just going to attach this onto her. It's a little bit too big, so let's see. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Oh, too small. How is this? Move up. How do we look? Maybe a little bit bigger. Making sure we can see the logo up here. Yep, it's attached onto her face fairly well. Maybe even a little bigger just because it's kind of floating in front of her face. Okay, and then just around here. Yep. I think that's good. Looks really cool. So if you were to import this and save to VRChat by itself, they're not even in the same object. They're not going to be attached to each other. So first of all, you're going to have to unpack this prefab and then be able to toss it in here. But the issue is that's going to just stay floating in the air when your whole body is moving around. You need this object to be attached to something that's going to move around, and in this case it's her head. So you want this object to be moving with the whole head. So the head bone is here under the root. I'm going to move this here. Okay, I hope that makes sense for everybody. So now that this item is here, when you move your character, that whole bone's going to be working. The head bone. That HMD is going to be stuck to your face and moving in the right direction. What's also important is that this object is in the high level. If you put it down here for some reason, it doesn't work with me. It kind of impacts which bones it's working on. So just keep it up here. What else do I have? I also have some VIVE controllers. So let's go ahead and import that. So here is a VIVE controller prefab here. Let's go zoom, so it's down here. Doesn't have any textures. So I'm gonna bring in one of my textures here. And I'll have to create a material first. So I'll just call this VIVE controller. And let's go ahead and give this here, and then I'll put the material on top of the object. So it looks real, because it is real. Okay. Usually double click on that to get close to it. Alright, so that's already done. But we need to position this. So this will take some work. You're going to have to move things around. So not this one. Is here. Move up. Let's face forward. Okay. Let's put the girl in the middle. Not so much. Okay. So I'm just gonna put it in her right hand so you get a basic understanding. Oops, moving the wrong thing. Let's move the controller. Okay. Zoom in. And the trick is, it's a little tricky because she needs to be holding it the whole time even when her hands are closed. So what I do is, first of all, let's get it closer to the right size. Move it closer, and then I'll go ahead and use the tools instead. It's easier. Move up and down. Rotate. And I think that's good enough. Okay. It's probably also not facing the right direction if she starts to put her hands down. So that should be okay. Let's zoom out. Go to our VRChat character. Okay, everything looks good. Again, this controller needs to be inside the bone settings. And to which one? Now we're gonna go back to we're in the neck. And then there's the chest. This is her right shoulder. So it's going to be inside here. So I'm gonna start moving in and finding what makes more sense. Here's the upper arm, lower arm. Oh, there is the right hand and all the fingers. So we need to be fitting on her hand. So that's what I will go ahead and do. Okay. So now we're here and everything's in position. So again, I'm gonna go ahead. I will remove this pipeline manager. It's gonna reset our content, which is okay. I'll delete these anyways later, but let's go ahead and upload this one. Because of my HMD, the VR device and the controller, they're pretty high polygon, a lot of triangles, so they're not ideal. It's probably not good that you use directly those high quality renderings. Make simpler ones and then attach those, but you're not going to be using this HMD. You're probably going to use something much more simpler. Hopefully you stay in the good or not bad zone of your polygon count. Let's go build and publish. Okay, so here, test girl 3 and upload. Okay, we're done. So let's check it out inside VRChat. Here's the mirror. There's our earlier character. Go to Avatar, My Creations, and here is Test Girl 3. You can already see her with the VIVE Cosmos Elite on her head. And in her right hand is the VIVE controllers. A little bit off, her thumb is inside the controller, so that can be adjusted. But here we go, there we are. You can see my character. Take this, and let's try. It's hard to see in the mirror, but you can see I'm looking up and down. There you go. You can see I'm looking up and down, and the HMD is tracking. Okay, I'm using the PC one, so I can't wave my hand, but you can see what's happening. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make your own avatar, customizing it using VRoid, and being able to export and importing into Unity. And from Unity, we were able to customize the avatar even further by adding objects. And we use the VRChat converter for VRM inside Unity to make everything sync smoothly. So we can even smile. We have the facial expressions. This character, apparently she has an HMD on her face, so you can't see it, but we saw earlier in the other character, she can smile, she can laugh. So I hope we get to see what you make and hope to catch up inside VRChat. We also have a very cool VR store inside VRChat. So it's our first VIVE VR store inside a virtual platform. Here's how you can find it. So go to Worlds, go to search, type in GUGENKA. It's our developer that created this world for us. And it's the first one, Gugenka Virtual Shop. Open a new instance just in case somebody joins it while I'm talking right now. And then you go. Let it load. It's about 200 megabytes, so depending on your network, it might take a few minutes. And this is very cool. It's a store where you can do shopping. And they have some cool anime stuff and VTuber stuff, but our stuff is located on the 3rd floor. It's called the VIVE VR store. There's some English, so there's always some explanation you can follow. But how you enter is, so it's not just this dark area. You can actually go inside and click touch here. So here you are. This location, I'm on a desktop computer right now, but you are able to check out 3D models of VIVE products. All of these. There's a TV where you can watch and learn more information about each product. If you can't hear anything, you can always go to your settings and modify the world volume, because each one has its own audio. You have to be close to the TV to hear it, but it's there. Also, you're able to grab all of these boxes and check out all the information. So here you can see VIVE Pro with all the information. Right now it's in Japanese main, but we will have some English information in the future. Otherwise, you can always check out this QR code and scan it with your smartphone to go directly to the website. And these are cool too. You can actually put here. There's a mirror feature. I already have an Elite on, so let's go ahead and go back to my normal character like this. And now let's see if I can move higher, or actually lower. And here we are. I am wearing a VR goggle inside a VR platform. So that's cool. If you actually have a VR device or something like that, it's easier to grab and put on your face. But even in desktop mode, you're able to check these things out. We have the VIVE Pro series, we have the Cosmos series, we have our brand new Elite that I was having on my head earlier, and other devices. So all of these you can check out in our VIVE VR store. Also, we also have this the grid system, the chaperone system, but you can always turn that off and have this deep space immersiveness happening. And there's a clock, you know what time it is when you're here. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and we have an opportunity to hang out in VRChat and even in VIVE VR store together. Thank you, and make sure you follow our YouTube channel and also on Twitter. Look for VIVE Japan SUP, standing for support. We do a lot of technical and development related information sharing, so this kind of stuff coming from Japan, you might be interested. Follow us, subscribe, and hope to share some more cool information in our upcoming features. Thank you.